It's Simon Hurley from Simon Hurley Create, and I'm here at the Ranger booth, and I'm going to be sharing some of the new products that I have for 2020, which is really exciting. So let's get into it. We actually now have 6 new colors of the dye-based ink pads that I have in my line. So if you guys have used these ink pads before, they're really great at stamping, watercoloring, and blending, which is really awesome. So some of the ink pads on the market I find are really great at stamping and not so great at blending, or really great at watercolor and not so great at stamping, but these do all 3 really well, which I really enjoy. So at the beginning we kind of released a rainbow assortment of colors, and now we're adding onto the line with some fun colors into the mix. So here we have Piggyback, which is that lighter pink. It's also a much warmer tone, so you get a lot when you go back to Rosy Cheeks and Bee Sting. You could do some fun layering and blending with those 3. And then next we have Psych, which is this greenish yellow color. I really love it. I called it Psych because I didn't really know what it was, whether it was a green or a yellow, because it can really work with both in the line, which is awesome.
Good morning, Jen.
And then here is Guppy. This is a nice bright orange color. And this goes along well with the yellows, but it also filled in a big section of the line because this was my last orange, and it's got a more blue tint to it, and it's a little bit darker too. So I wanted a nice bright, vibrant orange in the line. Then next we have Tropical Tango, and everybody's been loving this one because we have some good greens and some good blues in the line, and this one kind of fills in the teal section there, and it's just a really nice dark color. Then Minty Fresh, I kind of call this one my neutral. It's a blue-gray, which is really awesome. So you're able to use it with the blues and teals, but it also goes really well with Wolf, which was the gray in my line named after my pup. So it works really well in there as kind of a blue neutral. And then also I wanted to share, those 2 go really well in the line with blues as well. So you can really mix them with the blues or the greens. And then last but not least, everybody has been loving this one. It's called Crown Me. And it's this really nice, deep, rich purple color. So in the past we've had Triple Berry, which was more of a berry kind of reddish tone, whereas this one has a lot more blue into it. So it's a really nice, deep, royal purple, which I love. One thing that we kind of discovered with my line as well, with blending.
Sorry about the noise. There's people behind us very excited about something else.
So one thing we discovered about the blending is what I really love about these is you can blend colors together that usually wouldn't blend. So like there's reds and greens that I blended together here, and usually that would make a brown. However, it made kind of a nice blend in between there. So you get to really play with like whatever colors you want to. I love these for beginners too who don't really know the color wheel. You could really blend lots of different backgrounds together and get some cool effects, which I love.
So you can add them at the same time? You don't have to like wait until it dries?
Nope, no waiting until it dries. It sinks into the cardstock right away, and then you can kind of blend it with the next color, and it creates a nice color in between there, which I really like, instead of like a darker brown, which is great. Right. And then let's go on into some of the design products, and then I'll go into kind of some demoing here. Now, when we go into the stamp sets, I'm going to put it onto a piece of white cardstock here. So this one is called Puppy Puns, and so these are 6x9 clear stamp sets, and I drew all of these, which is really awesome. And so you get all these little dogs in here, and then you get their little paws and some tails as well.
You drew these?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, Simon, I'm so impressed.
Thanks so much.
That looks like my doggy. I want to know that one. What type of
this
dog?
One?
Do you know what type of dog is each one? Except
I
for
drew
the
this one after a golden doodle, but you can kind of like change them up to whatever. Like these ones look like my dogs too, and I don't have a golden doodle, so I just kind of colored them in to look like.
We have a Coton de Tuileries,
nice.
which is like a different.
That's
nobody
sweet.
has one.
So yeah, these you can make them peeking through a window or over a sentiment banner, and I have lots of demos over on the board over there, kind of sharing how to use them on cards.
Yeah, you can watch the Ranger booth video that I've already posted, and you can see all the stamps and the demos and the stamps that Simon created.
Awesome. And then yeah, these fit inside of lots of other stamps too. So we have a space training stamp set, and this fits right inside of those astronaut helmets too. So you can always use the older stuff with the new stuff, which is awesome. Then next we have Bird Buddies. This one is really fun. I love the size of the images because they're a lot bigger than most stamp companies, which means you can use 1 or 2 images on a card to finish it off. So this one has lots of different varieties of birds in it, which is really great. And then you have a swing, a little birdhouse, and a tree to kind of put them on, which is really awesome. So great ways to build up a scene on your card. Then we'll go into Flower Picking Friends. I wanted to incorporate some more florals in the line. So these are about the size of an A2 size card, which is awesome. So they fit really well on the front of the card.
I'll show these over here. There's an example here that is beautiful.
And then, of course, you can use those little critters to make them holding the flowers, which I think is just so much fun. And then last but not least, we have a sentiment stamp set. So these are big, bold sentiments. Again, about the size of an A2 size card base. They can really be the focal in there. So if you create a background and you want to just finish off the card quick, this is a great way to do so. And I handwrote all of these. So they're in my fun little handwriting there.
Are all of them hand drawn, like even the flowers?
Yep, all of these are hand drawn, which is
unbelievable.
really
You're so
fun.
talented.
Thanks so much. And so then let's go on into the background stamps. So this one is called Prom Dress. And so this one has a bunch of different hand-drawn flowers on it, which is so fun. And I love this one because it's a lined image, so you can go in and color it in, or you can do some heat embossing for a really elegant and sophisticated card, which I love. Next we have School Scribbles, which again, I just graduated high school, so this is like all the different drawings that I would do in my notebook, which is super fun.
I used to do that.
Right?
As a teenager, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a really great background stamp and just adds lots of texture, which is cool. Then these two have cut aparts in them. So what they are is, this one is like a birch tree, this one's called timber, and you can actually peel it apart, and you can use whatever images you want from the background, or you could use them all together, which is really great. So you get two separated trees and some groups of trees as well. Thanks. And then they have some jaggedy lines on there, so you're able to easily line them back up and put them right back onto the background.
Not only for stamps, imagine that in an art journal. Oh my gosh, that's now I want that one, because I didn't think, I don't do cards, but like, I love that I like to do like for an art journal. That would look so good.
Yeah, definitely. To have like certain pieces is really hard. It's like almost turns into a tool then, which I love.
Wow.
And then same thing with this background stamp. This one's called Watercolor Blooms. It has a halftone pattern so that it creates some cool textures. But this one has peel apart pieces, so you're able to use this almost like a little stamp set.
Just want to show it.
Yeah, definitely. So it almost turns into a
the
little stamp set because you can use
right?
the images. Yep, because you can use the images separately then, which is really awesome. So you get all these little images inside of the background stamp.
So you can do a background, and then you can do like a focal point with it as well, and you're only using one stamp. Very
yeah,
cool.
Which is really cool. And then all you need to do to put it back in is just piece it back together, and then if any pieces are sticking up like that, you just gotta move the rubber a little bit to fit everything right back in, and it fits in perfectly again. So you can stamp the whole background at once then. And let's quickly move on to stencils, and then I'll show one quick technique. This one is called Cordial Critters. So this one's just got a bunch of little lined images in here, so you can kind of ink blend through these to get one or two, or you can texture paste the background, do some foiling, and I also like to stamp with it too, which I'll probably show in just a second. This one is called Backsplash, and I love, or no, not Backsplash. Backsplash was my old one. This is a new geometric design called the Loo. So you guys loved Backsplash, so we now created this one as well. This one is called Leafy Greens, and with this one you can stencil it once to get more sporadic leaves, or you can kind of flip and rotate the stencil to get more leaves in between, and then I blended it out to white there to show you how well the inks blend as well.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we have the Window Maker stencil. So this one's really fun because you can use it as almost a stamp layering, but with ink blending, and you can layer up different layers of ink to create 3D windows and stuff on your cards, which is awesome. And they're about the size of a card base, which is really great. So you can kind of create more simplified versions or put them all together, and there's brick patterns and stuff in there to finish off your card, which is awesome.
You can use it for scrapbooking too. That would look really cool underneath a scrapbook photo.
Definitely. And you could put even a picture inside of it, which is cool. Then next we have the washi tape strips. I wanted to do these because I wanted 8 sheets of washi tape, which is quite a bit. You get them at a really great price point, and also it's paper thin, so you're able to, this one coordinates along with the Flower Picking Friends stamp set. It's got shrunken down designs from that set.
It peels off like a sticker?
So it peels off just like a sticker. Let me grab one of those sheets. So here all you have to go in is go in and peel this right off. I've been cutting these out already and using them. But yeah, you can peel it off. It's the same washi tape material, nice and thin. And then here I've been using them on planners and stuff like that.
So cool.
You can cut right in between, and then the white background kind of blends in between, which is really awesome. And then you can even go on in with cards as well. So here I cut that apart and I did a card, add a sentiment, add some colored paper behind it, and you got a really quick and easy card, which I love. So this washi tape is going to be awesome for envelopes, planners, and stamping with as well. And then last but not least, let's go in with a fun technique that's pretty quick and simple.
Sounds good.
So this one is the Cordial Critters, and it's a nice thin line stencil, but I love to stamp with it because I think a lot of people think of just putting ink through stencils, but I love to get a little extra use out of them and stamp with them as well. So I'll go in with some slippery when wet ink, which is a nice bright yellow color. Then I'll go in with some bee sting, smoosh that right over top.
That's cool. I've done
Thanks.
stamping, but they don't come out like, how do you call this? They come out because I usually add water to it, so or they're wet or something. But this is cool. I want to see.
That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to add water.
Oh, you are going to add water. Okay.
But it keeps its design if you do it in a certain...
A little bit.
Yeah. Got to grab a sprayer. I've been using Wendy's sprayer, and yesterday I pulled out a sprayer and it had a piece of tape on it, and I was actually spraying rubbing alcohol instead of water, which is fun. But
so technically you did spray a lot. It's not like a little bit.
Yep, you spray it a lot. You want to get that color moving and blending on your surface.
Right.
So once the color's kind of mixing together like that, you know you have enough water on there, which is awesome.
Okay. Guys, watch this technique. This is really good for like a stenciling technique for anything.
And this is my stark white cardstock, so it's going to take that ink really nicely and dry on the surface quicker than it would on a watercolor
So you're
sheet.
stamping upside down. You're not putting the paper on top, because I would have thought to put the paper.
I just drop it right on top.
I would have done
And the stark white cardstock is going to take the ink a little bit better than a watercolor cardstock would, because it's going to dry quicker on the surface, which is why I love it so much.
Oh, so you let it sit there.
And you can go in on that surface, and you can go in with a paper towel and just blot some of that off. So it's removing any color, so it'll keep your lines nice and clean and crisp.
Wow, that's really cool.
Thanks.
Hi, Susan.
And then all you have to do is lift that right off, and you've got a really cool watercolor stamped background.
That is so cool. Susan, you have to do this.
And then once it dries, it can turn out like this. So it's really cool. Depending on how much ink you add, you can get more vibrant colors, but super awesome.
Okay.
And as it dries, it'll kind of intensify like this, which is awesome.
Wow, okay, amazing. That's a really good technique. I love it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and the stencils are pretty cheap, so that's why I love doing lots of different techniques with them, because for the price point, it's really great to stencil through and stamp and get those layering techniques, which is really cool. So always think of a couple different ways, because stencils are a really versatile medium where you can add paste through even and get a lot of use out of them, which is awesome.
Somebody's saying it looks like you did a resist technique. But
Oh yeah,
it's
it looks like
opposite.
Right, it looks like it's embossed. Yeah.
Anyways,
cool.
Thank you so much, Simon.
Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. Good to see you guys. And all this stuff is shipping in February, so I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it. Have a great day. Bye.
Awesome.